What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat. We are here at the Nerd Castle with the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer, in which I play an indie game which landed on my desk over the course of the last week with a resounding and also kind of pixelated thud. I don't know why video games always make like a pixely thud sound when they hit my desk. It's very 8-bit, it's very retro, and even like the newer ones do it, like Watch Dogs did it. I don't know if that's a thing that they all agreed to, like in a video game council or what, but when it landed on my desk with a pixely thud, I decided I would show it off this week. It's done by Skatanic Games, and it's got a lot of interesting ideas. I think the game is pretty light on content right now, but I figured I might be able to get like a 20-minute episode out of it, and so I figured I would invite you all to come along with me. In case you don't know what RPG Tycoon is, RPG Tycoon is a game in which you try to guide a small little town. If you've ever played Kairosoft's, I think it was called Dungeon Village or something like that. It's on the iPhone. I have it on my iPhone. In fact, I can take a look, but I think it was called Dungeon Village or something along those lines, in which you kind of guide this little village along and heroes come and they do their own thing. Yeah, it's called Dungeon Village. I was taking a look while I was talking. Dungeon Village, it's basically this little game where you build different buildings that each do different things, and then heroes just move into your town and kind of do their own stuff. It's a little bit like Majesty in that respect, but in this game you have a bit more control over what your individual heroes do, whereas in Majesty, you kind of just post bounties and hope for the best to occur. Let's go ahead and start the game off because, I'm not worried about moving too quickly. It's just that there's not a whole lot in the game right now. It's sort of like when Folktale came out. There's a little bit of content to sort of whet your appetite just in case you want it to feel a little bit soggy. But after the fact, you're not going to find a whole lot of like dense things to do in this game, I guess. There's not going to be a density of combat, or I'm sorry, a density of content. Combat? I don't know where my mind is right now. Let's name our kingdom. We can go with something unique. We can go, it will be Unicornia. The fanciful kingdom of Unicornia. Okay, and so it's going to try and do the tutorial like every time we play the game. This is what the game looks like. Some people are going to say that the game appears to be kind of ugly. To that extent, I would say that the game is a little bit like Towns, in that I don't really feel like the aesthetic is what they're focusing on. However, in lieu of loads of content, it's difficult for me to say. I could be just talking out of my ass right now. That's really kind of the terrifying thing that might be occurring. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build ourselves a quarters for our first hero. So we'll go up to this buildings menu. You can see that we're sort of limited on what we can do right now. So there's the small quarters. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put it right next to this tree because I like having trees in my yard unless it's a willow tree. Oh my god. I had a willow tree in my front yard when I was a kid. I hate willow trees because they remind me of raking. They remind me of raking on a Saturday morning. Your dad would be like, hey, go rake the front lawn. You'd be like, oh man, that willow tree just pissed down leaves everywhere over the last week. That thing has just been losing hair like crazy. Alright, so we have a hero now. We have a hero. Before I get off on other stuff, hey, stop that. No more tutorials. Alright, so as we go through, we're going to need heroes to do quests for us. And so I think what I'm going to go for right here is we will hire Philip the Brave. If you take a look, all the other heroes are more expensive and they suck more. Like, none of them are quite as good. Wait, I thought I saw Lawrence the Strong. Oh, Lawrence the Strong is super expensive. He's both strong and his price is bold. Let's go with Philip the Brave because he's got good HP, good strength, and he's a reasonable higher price. And so there it is. Philip the Brave will now come and join my town. The next thing that we need to do is build a tavern, and the reason for this is twofold. A, as you send your heroes out to do quests, they will get tired because they're exerting themselves. They're sweating all over the place. They're making man smells and things like that. And so as they complete quests, they'll get more and more tired along the way. And as they get tired, they'll need a place to rest. Hence, the tavern. That's where they go to drink all their cares away. Additionally, as your town gets bigger and bigger, you'll start to attract tourism, and random villagers will come and stop by, and they can spend money at the tavern. And so essentially, you can get free money out of the tavern for doing jack shit nothing. And so if there's one thing I am a fan of in life, it's getting money for jack shit nothing. So let's go ahead and put, oh, there he is right there. Ah, so this is Unicornia. That's the way that I would say it if I entered Unicornia. If I had joined the kingdom of Unicornia, that would be precisely the tone in my voice, like, Unicornia. Let's go, we'll put the tavern down right there. You can't rotate buildings or anything. Oh, good, we've got 50 followers. This game has kind of like a Twitter thing going on, in that there are people that follow your kingdom and are actively interested in the success of your kingdom. And so as you go along, you want to attract followers for some reason. And as you attract followers, you'll get more and more tourists, you'll get more and more trade and so forth. The game essentially just gets easier and you get more and more free money the more that people like you on social media or whatever it is that we're attracting people through. There. Now we've got a tavern which has 2 windows, and I don't know why this part of it is stone and this part of it is like some kind of stucco or whatever the hell it is. What you will see is that as we go along, this little guy will stop into the tavern and will occasionally refresh himself, use our lavatory, whatever it is that he does, and he pays money for it. Now for the quests. So the quests are a little bit weird. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the way the quests work or if I love them. I'm really sort of stuck in between right now, and I think I'm going to have to wait until the quest system is fleshed out a little bit better before I can make a final distinction. However, what you do, if you just want to see the quest system in motion, what I would do is just go to New Quest here, and you choose what type of quest you want to do, and you'll note that there are many of them here that are question marked out. That's because you need to research those quests before you can go do anything else with them. What we've started with is random. So for example, on my last one, I started with Endurance, Mystical, and Delivery. This time I've gotten Endurance, Raiders, and Farmhand. We're going to go with Raiders first. And so we're going to send Philip the Brave to go fight with some raiders. And then we've got to tell him what city do we want him to go fight raiders in. And this is important because different cities have different amounts of problems with different quests. And so some cities are naturally aligned to where you want to do lots of mystical quests in them. Some cities are naturally aligned where you want to do lots of farming work in them, and so forth and so on. In this case, what do we have here? Almondvale. It says right here in Almondvale's description, Almondvale sits at the heart of a bustling crossroads and is full of traffic. They're incredibly proud of their hometown and have issues defending it from pesky raiders. And so if you wanted to send him out on a raider mission, my guess would probably be that this might be the most astute choice. Now, you get to assign his attributes every time you sign him out. This is another weird system. And so, in the case of this game, you've kind of got systems lumped on top of other systems in that you're trying to choose the right city, the right hero, and then finally the right stat allocation to come back with the result that you want. What I would suggest is, since this is a combat mission, I would take everything out of food and scouting. I would take everything out of horses and stealth. I'd put everything into bravado, weapons, and aggression. We'll take it out of conduct as well, because this is a fighting mission where we're going to be beating up Vikings. And so in order just to even compete on a bare bones level, we're going to need loads of bravado, loads of aggression, and loads of weapons, or WAB as I like to call it, W-A-B. It's the abbreviation for all three. In case you missed it, in case it went swoop straight over the top of your head, W-A-B. The WAB distribution of stats. And so what we'll do now is we will send him out, and it will give us a progress report. And so off he goes. He paid a little bit of money for his supplies, and down here at the bottom, it's going to give you different decisions now that you're going to go through as you play the game. And this is something that I hope gets fleshed out really, really well, because this is actually kind of a choose-your-own-adventure thing. In fact, I would do away with this entire system right here. And so let me explain how the system works before I go ahead and denounce it. So the first thing that I'll say about this system is that you're going to get random choices. So you have the journey stage, you have like the adventure stage, and then you have the finishing stage. And if I was to like it to anything, I would liken it to kind of how things work in EverQuest 2, where you've got like a refining phase of your crafting, like the crafting system in EverQuest 2, where it's divided up. You've got like the refining phase, you've got the polishing phase, and then you've got like the finishing phase, and each one affects things differently. In the case of the journey stage, you're basically setting his outlook as to how he wants to complete this mission appropriately. You can tell him to rush it. Nah, we don't want that. We want to be very careful and calculated in our killings. Recon? Nah, we don't have any stats for that anyways. We want him to be guarded and make sure that he's safe. Now, as I'm telling you how this system works, I would prefer to see it actually do something along the lines of a choose-your-own-adventure novel right here, where the developers would actually write in a little storyline, and then you would make choices based on the stats that you had distributed. I think that would make the game a little bit better. That's just my suggestion coming from my corner. I'm not an artistically inclined person, but it seems to me just sliding bars around is a little bit less fun than getting the context of your knight named Philip's adventure. So we'll go next, and down here you will see the outcome of everything that's happened. We took some damage, unfortunately, but we got 6 loot and 3 influence. So as you can see, he hasn't even left town yet. Hopefully they patch that up, maybe speed them up as they run out of town. We're already up to 13 gold and 9 influence, not bad. So we're on the conquest stage. That's what the next one is called. I want him not to talk. No, we will not be doing any talking. Most of what we will be doing is headbutting, biting, and throwing things, avoiding conflict. No, we're not doing that. Your name is Philip the Brave, not Philip the Runner, not Philip the Frail. Alright, so there we are. We'll go with conflict. All of the war that we can inflict, all of the cons that we can inflict on our enemies. That's what we're trying to do right now. Okay, and it seems to be working out. We're getting a whole bunch of these hero quarters are cool. In Unicornia. Finally, we have the return phase, so we can choose for him to be thorough before he returns, to endorse our guild or endorse our town before he leaves, or we can have him explore the location completely. I don't really know what these affect. This final phase still seems a little bit suspect to me. I'm going to have him be thorough and then endorse us as much as possible, because we could use the followers. We're at 60 followers right now, but really the money doesn't start to flow until you get a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and finish this quest off, and we'll see how the final cookie crumbles before we get the mop and pan out and everything to clean it up, because obviously after the cookie crumbles, you've got a severe cleanup issue on your hands. And so you're awarded a score for each go. I don't really know. I think these are the scores by phase. And I think you're supposed to look at these and figure out like what you could have done better along the way, but the game is not very verbose right now. The game is very, very tight-lipped at the moment, to where sometimes it can be difficult to figure out what you've done right and what you've done wrong. Our hero should also give us some advice at the end. He says, I don't think bravado is important for a quest like this. Okay, so we know that our allocation of bravado was totally pointless. And then he says, Almond Vale really needed our help with this. That means that that's a quest that we can always get a reasonably decent turnout from if we decide to do it there. They like violent quests. I guess there are people that enjoys the punching and, you know, the blood and the teeth clacketing in the gutter and all that fun stuff. And so finally we got 330. Oh good, we got some renown as well. And you can trade in the renown and the gold to do research to get yourself new quest types, to get yourself new building types and things of that nature. Now whether or not we'll be able to accomplish that within the confines of this weekly Indie Newcomer episode, I'm not really sure, because the game moves slowly. Let's go ahead and, now that that's done, we haven't gotten any cash from any of our minions. Let's send him out on another quest. We'll try a new one here. I think we'll go out for a farmhand quest. And so Philip the Brave will go out, and sometimes you've just got to do the dirty work. It may be tedious, and but there's always work to be done on the farmlands around the settlements that will help them. No, you're not allowed to kick the chickens. Obviously, that's a Fable reference. The chicken kicker. Let's see here. We want to find a place that says that they have lots of farming going on. And so Threepwood, and actually both these places say that they're fighting a lot of pirates. So instead what we'll do is we'll go Raiders, and we'll do the same thing in Threepwood. What the hell is a Threep? And why is it in your wood? That's a little bit concerning. I mean, most concatenations of names like this are done for a reason, and so I'm sort of just kind of, is a Threep, it sounds like a bird. A Threep sounds like a little bird, like a goddamn Threep's waking me up at 5 in the morning with the baby Threeps. I had a bird put its nest like right outside my windowsill one time. Oh my god. You think it's adorable for about the first 8 seconds, and then after that you're like, yep, somebody gonna die. Let's go ahead and we'll throw the bravado back in over here, since it said that it was useless for that mission last time. And maybe we'll try horses? I don't know. I don't know what a good choice is right here. Perhaps scouting? Sure, let's try scouting. Well, let's try scouting for once. And just see if we get any other indicators as to whether or not we've been doing things properly. And so off he goes, Philip the Brave, onto his next adventure to kill even more raiders. This place has a serious, serious piracy problem. It's like Napster all over again. And so we don't want him to rush this. Last time we did great with this first score, and so what we want is for him to guard and then ride out. Okay, awesome. And so we've already got 10 loot and 2 influence, 17 and 7. The second phase we went for all conflict, and I think that turned out okay for us, so we're going to try that again. And I'm going to try and rework things with the third phase to see if maybe we can get a better result out of it instead of trying to squeeze $1 out of 10 cents. Maybe we'll manage to get a quarter out of it or something. Okay, so this time, what do we want to try? I suppose that I will tell him... I think last time we left some of the meters up, to be honest, so I'm not really sure. Let's go ahead and go with... Let's lower endorsing, and then we'll have him be thorough and then explore everything. Let's see how that works out. Ah, it appears to have worked out a little bit better because we got 51. I don't know how these loot numbers correlate either. So, oh, we still got... I don't know what that is then. I have no idea what these 3 numbers mean. They don't really have them labeled, and so hopefully they'll decide with this menu to label like what some of these numbers are. It appears as though it's taking... I don't think it's taking an average, actually, of these 3 numbers. I don't think the average would be that high. That definitely doesn't seem to be right. I'm doing some quick numbers in my head. Actually, maybe it is. So you've got 75 from there, you've got 78, and then you divide it by 3. So yeah, that actually... Well, no, it'd be lower, never mind. So I have no idea. Nonetheless, he lost 16 HP, he got 7 quest experience from that, and he levels up pretty soon too. And when they level up, they get more attributes, they get stronger, they get more HP. And so it says it really helped us putting so much of our energy into Scout. Oh, okay. So I guess scouting is a good thing, and so it's the debriefing. There's a lot of typos and things in the game right now. I do think this game is... I would say that this game is less of a game right now and more of kind of a proof of concept. And I don't think the game took Kickstarters. Don't quote me on that. But I think the game as it stands right now is in more of a proof of concept phase. I guess since we got that right there, let's go ahead and finish up. Oh, we actually didn't get that much gold from it. Repeat quests don't go down well. But he spent It said 400G, but I don't think he actually spent 400G in our tavern. That's a hell of a bar tab. I'm just saying, that's a bar tab. Oh, I've sent Philip the Brave. Okay, so anyways, if your heroes get wounded or if they're tired, you click on send at the tavern. It'll send him to the tavern. He'll go hang out there for a little while, and he'll get his fatigue all taken care of. Sometimes there's some little bugs surrounding this where it replicates or like duplicates your hero every time he goes to the tavern. It's just a bug that I've noticed. Ooh, I wonder if they serve grog here. I'm willing to bet we probably do. I bet most medieval liquor was something around what you would call grog. Although I thought grog was just really, really watery rum. It's just terrible piss rum. Although I'm not a big rum fan anyways. Just personally, I really sort of prefer the clear liquors, tequilas, vodkas. But I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm not a dark liquor fan. I just don't know why. And there it is. And so that's why you make the tavern, is because the freebie cash is great. Now we can make a potion store for 600 gold that people can spend cash at. However, I think I'm going to lay back on it right now. And we're just going to wait until Philip the Brave gets back out of the tavern. Once he comes out of the tavern, we'll put him out on a quest that he hasn't done yet. And hopefully we'll get enough renown to where I can show you how things are researched before we decide to end the episode off. However, the rest times, the beginning of the game, very, very slow paced. Additionally, it won't let you build more houses so that you can have more heroes, so that you can do 2 and 3 quests at a time. Why that restriction has been put on the game, I'm not sure, whether it's due to the fact that the game hasn't been developed completely yet, or whether it's due to the fact that they just don't want you controlling multiple heroes at the same time. I have no idea. I couldn't speak as to the accuracy of that assessment. However, the early game is very, very slow. We'll go along with, let's see here, that's not what I want. Quests, I can read. Let's go, we can explore. If you explore, you can find new quests, or you can find new settlements. Realistically, what we want to do is save up our renown, which is listed right here. Let's go with an endurance quest, I guess. And for an endurance quest, let's see here. They're always happy to have visitors and are very friendly. It's not much going. Well, let's maybe help them out with farms then. I don't know. Sometimes I've had villages before that say they specifically have farm work. So let's send Philip to do some farm work in Raymond's Reach. And then for farm work, my guess is that we're probably not going to need weapons, aggression, or anything else. We're more than likely going to need like conduct, horses, food, and bravado maybe. We'll try that out and we'll see how this whole thing falls over on us. Sometimes you totally just horribly mismanage a quest and it just doesn't go the way that you want. He's already taken a little bit of damage right there, which is disappointing. And our first decision is going to be, should we rush, should we recon, or should we guard? I think I'm going to go with guard and rush. I don't know. Let's try. Additionally, I feel like those bars would make more sense if as you raised one, it lowered the other. So you could say, like, percentile-wise, how much of yourself you're throwing into that particular task. Okay, so the first stage seems like it went reasonably okay. I mean, it's farm work. We probably want to avoid conflict the whole time we're here. Just go with avoid and then talk it out, maybe? And see how that lands? Oh, no, we got punched in the head or something. We lost health, unfortunately. So every month you're going to lose expenses right here. So the cost of our buildings and the cost of our heroes, because they have upkeep. And you can dig yourself into a hole. If you're not familiar with how the game works, your first run will probably be a little bit weird and you'll have no cash and you'll go broke and all that fun stuff. However, I don't know what happens when you go broke. I've only done it once and I quit so fast that I was like, meh, I'll just start over real fast. So the final thing that we want to do is maybe let's just be really, really thorough and then endorse ourselves. I mean, it's a farming quest. I mean, how prestigious could it be? At a certain point, you sort of have to wonder how much you could get out of a farming quest anyways. I mean, what are the turnips going to pay us a bonus because we hoed them better? You know what I mean? So we got 12 renown. Well, it looks like we did okay, and he leveled up. So Philip the Brave is now level 2, although he lost a little bit of HP, so I suppose there must have been some particularly aggressive pumpkins or potatoes or something. It's just like, ah, it's headed right for me! Kill it, kill it! So he's sitting out there in the field stabbing the different rows. And so we managed to get through it without too much destruction. Raymond Reach really needed our help with this. Okay, so that's fine. It said we got 12 renown. So now what I want to play around with is we can go, let's see here. Let's try the library, I guess. I don't know if that did anything for me. Oh, yeah, okay, so we've researched the library. Although expensive, the library is a crucial structure to any popular capital. The library will allow you to undertake research, which will allow you to open up a variety of upgrades for your kingdom. How did I miss this the entire time? Sigh. It's 1,000 gold, though, so we can't really afford it right now. It appears that a new kingdom has been founded off the borders of your own. It's said that the silver valleys of the Mortonian waterfall lies the kingdom of Calcanorius. Or Calcinorius, whichever you prefer. The kingdom of Calcinorius has already begun to make a name for itself throughout the land by hiring a multiple number of heroes to defend its honor and spread fame to nearby settlements, who appear to be conforming to their wills rather rapidly. It's said that the leader of their kingdom is very, very wise. And so you go here. I don't know if that's going to fill back in. See, there's a lot of bugs in this game. So the last time I played, I clicked on that and nothing happened. It just took my resources and then, like, nothing occurred. It's strange. Like, the game is buggy right now, and it is being, I mean, you can go to the Steam forums right now and you can take a look at, like, the different screenshots people have posted of the bugs, because they are humorous a lot of the time. Like, you'll end up with, like, 500 Phillips walking around, and just all kinds of weird things occurring. But there are bugs in the game right now. Nonetheless, I do feel like it's a reasonably fun game. I mean, I think it's going in a good direction. It's just kind of really rough around the edges. At the moment, what you've got is kind of a 2x4 with rough, splintery edges, and it really needs some nice sandpaper to get it going. So until Philip gets back from the tavern, because I accidentally sent, I'm gonna fess up right now. I accidentally sent him there again. It's like, well, Philip's off drinking again. I guess that's... We've got at least 12 hours until he comes off his bender and is able to go do something else for us. I'm not really sure. I'd be sort of upset if somebody was just walking up in my house and being like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'd be a little bit down about it. Let's go ahead and build a potion store. Because we can. Nice. And so now we've got a potion store. We got 10 followers. Cool. What you can do with the potion store is you can stock all of these health potions and things, and your heroes will go buy them. I think people will come by and buy them every now and again too. And so you can upgrade them right here, which will raise the price. It'll keep the material costs and whatnot. Let's see here. So yeah, you can raise and you can lower the price of the potion so that you make more or less money off each one. You're probably better off just leaving it at the default. Let's wait for Philly Boy to jump on out of here. And once Philip has decided to vacate the premises and go back to his house, we will send him on what will look like a final quest, maybe? Let's see here. A new quest. Let's send him out on an endurance. I guess it's a test of endurance. I don't really know. That's not a very amazing description. Just an endurance, really. It doesn't have a description either when you send him over there. I guess we'll go to Almond Vale with our test of endurance. And then for a test of endurance, I would assume... I don't know. You probably have to eat a lot. Like maybe some bravado and maybe a little bit of aggression. I have no idea for a test of endurance. There's nothing there that's like, this is your stamina stat. So I'm figuring, I don't really know what horses do either. I think it's how many horses you bring with you on the quest or something. But anyways, let's go ahead and we will, it's a quest of endurance. So I guess we'll have him like recon, or I'm sorry, we'll have him rush and guard it just to make sure. I have no idea really. It didn't give me a description of what the quest is. And so I suppose I'll just sort of wing it on this one. I will make like the pelican and take to wing. Well, we got 5 loot out of it. I mean, I guess it could have been a lot worse. I think we'll probably go with talk and avoid conflict because a test of endurance doesn't seem like it would involve that much violence. Ah, there we go. We did a little bit better in the middle phase. At least we're pulling something out of here. We've got, let's see, how should we control our return? I would say that he should probably just be thorough. Let's try that out. Be very, very thorough about your endurance. Well, we gained a little bit of influence, but frankly, without a little bit more feedback, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Gain 4 renown. Let's see what our adventurer had to say about it. I don't think horses are important for a quest like this, okay. Almond Vale has more important things that we could help out with. So instead, let's try that same quest again. Actually, let's explore for a new quest. We could definitely use it. Wait, that didn't work, did it? There we go. And we'll send Philip the Brave to go explore for a new quest. Philip the Brave is now exploring, and when he comes back, we should have the new available quest that we can send people out to go and handle. Additionally, did it fill in anything else right here? Maybe we can't do anything else until we put down the library. I mean, it's going to take us quite a substantial little bit of cash, And from what I've seen in other people's screenshots, there are a couple different building types, but I haven't gotten much further than this, usually because I get hit by a bug by now, so I think we'll be alright. Making a little bit of money off the grog that we're serving up at our tavern. And as soon as he gets back from exploring, I'll show you what okay, so he's back, and he's unlocked a new quest type. So if we go over here, you'll see that he has unlocked delivery quest. That's not the best thing that we could have unlocked, but we'll send him out on one more, maybe to Raymond's Reach. And we'll go with scouting, stealth, and horses, maybe? Who knows? Conduct seems like it might be important too, so we'll try conduct for a delivery man. I always prefer that my delivery man be courteous and just be like, here's a crate, and then just like throws it at your door, and you're like, bam! You're like, I don't know what's in there, it says fragile on it. Be careful. Alright, and so deliveries, obviously, people want you to rush their deliveries. So let's go ahead and we'll recon that out. Do I have to be guard? I didn't take any stats for defending myself, so I think we're just going to focus all on being evasive for right now. The other problem is that this might not be the hero that we want to send on stuff like this because he's all strength built. That's the other possibilities. If you look at his stats, he may not be the proper character to make this work. We're going to have him talk it out and avoid all conflict. And this does not look like it's going well for us already. I mean, we're gaining a little bit of influence, which can be good, I guess. And so I think we'll just have everything stay at the max. I don't know. Not the most successful of quests. I think there's something we missed. See, that's sort of like vague. I think there's something we missed. Did we forget a stat entirely? Maybe that's what it's hinting at, is that I just totally misallocated a stat on the entire thing. We only made 50 gold off of it, which means it was a giant waste of time, and that's one of the reasons you want to have the tavern up and running, is because you can make a little cash from there. I think I'm going to break the episode off right here of Weekly Indie Newcomer. My name is Splattercat. This week we were taking a quick first look at RPG Tycoon, which is on offer from Skatanic. I've got all the information down below in the description. If you want to support the development, go ahead and check it out there. With regards to the pros and cons of this game, I will say that on the pros column, I like city builders. I mean, that's really, I'm a huge addict for city builders, and so I think in a lot of cases I'm going to be a really bad judge of character when it comes to games like this, because I play the hell out of them whether they're good or they're bad. On the pro side, I do see what they're going for. Like, I can tell the concept is there. I'm just hoping that they can move towards it in an efficient and precise way. So the game is just not developed at the point right now to where I feel like pros and cons are really fair. I mean, it's a rough distinction to make. I would wait another, if you're really interested in a fleshed out product, I'd give it another 4 or 5 months and just check in on it every now and again, because on the con side, there are a lot of random bugs right now. There are a lot of little things that are just going to go wrong while you're playing the game. Additionally, sometimes the buttons don't seem to work like they're supposed to. The feedback is a little bit low at the moment for what I'd like to see from some of the quests, but if you think about this game, instead of being... like, this game is essentially almost a pre-alpha. It's like a proof of concept almost with the way that I've had it described. So I'm thinking that if you just give it a little bit of time, I would keep an eye on it. So I would forego the purchase right now and just put it on your wish list on Steam and just keep an eye on it over the course of the next 6 months or so and see really if they start digging out the trenches with all of these random bugs and things. And if they do, I think this could actually be a pretty pleasurable little like city builder game, I guess. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for an episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer. I look forward to seeing you all next week. If you're new to the Nerd Council and you don't know what Weekly Indie Newcomer is, it's my Friday series where I take a first look at a game that I've either just gotten a hold of or been taking a look at or been infatuated over the course. Essentially, I find an indie game from the last week that I've either been playing or has been intriguing, and I play it for about 30 minutes to give you guys an introduction to the gameplay. With that said, if you enjoy this series, I will be producing it every Friday from here on out, so I look forward to seeing you all in the next week's episode. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do as always.